This is Kurt Porter. Like, comment, subscribe. Today's title, Stefon Diggs, not found guilty. Let's get into it.
Stefon Diggs was found not guilty on all charges that he was facing: felony strangulation and misdemeanor battery, just moments ago in a Massachusetts courtroom. And boy, was he emotional. I'm talking about tears streaming down the face of the NFL.
I want to make a comment on that, man. It's not like he was crying like a newborn. You know, a little tear came out, tear of joy, he beat his case. You could just imagine how much he paid for the lawyers and stuff like that, But you dragging it. He ain't crying like no newborn now.
Superstar. And when you consider that Stefon was facing 5 years in prison if he were to be convicted, it makes a whole lot of sense. Now, this was about as open as shut a case as you could ever see. The jury ultimately ended up deliberating for less than 90 minutes. In fact, about 15 minutes before they ultimately returned the not guilty verdict, they had some questions for the judge. They wanted some clarification on one of the charges. The judge clarified, they went back, and minutes later, we were told that a verdict had been reached. They come out, they didn't waste any time, and not guilty, case closed.
Man, Stefon Diggs hired a good lawyer, man. Because when I looked at it, his lawyer came with receipts after receipts. And his BBL chef didn't come prepared. Man, that feeling when you win your case. Give your lawyer a hug, man. I know you drop a bag on that, man. Give me a hug, man. You got me out of this mess.
Again, for a guy who could have been facing and was facing a half a decade potentially in prison, he will ultimately not spend a single minute behind bars. Now, this was a bizarre case, to be completely honest, from the get-go. Jamila Adams was Stefon Diggs' live-in chef who had been hired by him in early 2025, who said then in December of 2025, so less than a year after she was hired, she claimed that they'd gotten into this big dispute over text messages about money that he allegedly owed her for her cooking services. Well, she claimed that one thing led to another, and that Stefon Diggs basically stormed into the room where she was staying in his home and beat her up, including to strangle her, she claimed, so badly that she said she could not even breathe. Obviously, at the end of the day, the jury wasn't buying any of it. Now, she took the stand.
The OGs always tell me, don't mix pleasure with your job, man. Business with pleasure.
Jamila did on Monday and Tuesday, and it did not go well for her. She was admonished by the judge on multiple occasions. Now, there were a couple of points that the defense attorneys for Diggs, they said, look, how come you didn't take any photographs of your injuries? If he strangled you and you had red marks on your neck, why didn't you ever document any of that? And she really just didn't have any.
That don't make no sense. You don't got no evidence. You don't come prepared. You wasting these people's time. You make yourself look stupid.
Answers. There was also a video of Jamila that was taken just days after the alleged assault, where she looked as happy as could be. She was dancing, hanging out with some of their mutual friends, and it was clear at the end of the day the jury just was not buying it. I think a lot of people.
Man, dance your way back home. You're not getting paid.
People watched this case, and the ones who paid attention asked themselves, why was this even brought? Because it just feels like there was never a conviction to be had here. Now, there were a couple other really interesting things that happened during the trial. Earlier today was a revelation that the Jamila Adams people had apparently asked Stefon Diggs for $5.5 million. Now, they didn't.
Not happening. Wrong guy.
come out and directly say it was so she might stop cooperating, but I think the implication was clearly there. Pay me the $5.5 million, and Stefon Diggs has made a tremendous amount of money throughout his NFL career, and this can all go away. So that was something that the defense attorneys pointed to as basically saying this is all a money grab from the start.